My mother's shocking lung cancer diagnosis forced me to face my deepest fears and unresolved family issues. I put my acting career on hold. I was determined to save my mother. Stay tuned. I'm visiting my sister in California. Our parents are on the phone. This is unusual as their relationship has been strained since Dad returned from Vietnam almost 20 years ago. Your mother and I wanted to inform you your mother's going into the hospital tomorrow for some test. What kind of test? Probably nothing. He shrugs off my question, but a knot in the pit of my stomach alerts me otherwise. Mom, how are you doing? I'm fine. Routine stuff, I guess. We'll keep you posted, Dad confirms like he's planning some war maneuvers. Don't worry, your mom'll be fine. Enjoy the rest of your visit. We love you, girls. I push my concerns away because I'm in California to check out the Hollywood acting situation. I drove forever to attend a few theater auditions. I called agents, met with Randy James. Randy was the head of ABC TV casting in New York, who called the Coast on my behalf after my moonlighting audition. He left New York and is now managing talent in Hollywood. I wore a bright green skirt, matching jacket, white tank, and black pumps. Randy and I chatted and smiled until he said, Jill, as long as you promise to work as hard here as you do in New York, I want to represent you. The offer's tempting. The work is in Hollywood, not New York. Well, unless you're a Broadway baby, which is mainly musicals. I realize I can't move here as long as I'm supporting Henry through law school and if Mom is ill. A week later, I'm back in New York. My phone rings. My caller ID alerts me. I assume Mom's calling to give me the test results. I have cancer, lung cancer. My heart stops. This makes no sense. I mean, my mother is only 65 years old. She quit smoking several years ago and never smoked more than 10 cigarettes a day. I mean, she's always been thin and healthy and quit drinking almost 20 years ago. No therapy, no 12-step. She just stopped. In recovery terms, she's a dry drunk. Dry or drinking, dry is better. I'm being admitted into the Columbia Memorial Hospital tomorrow. This unexpected news sends an electric shock through my system. I'm coming home. Don't you dare put your life on hold for me. She sounds angry. A direct flight from New York to Columbia, South Carolina is like finding a unicorn. I have a 3-hour layover in Atlanta. Dad's joke is, on your way to heaven, you gotta stop in Atlanta first. Except for those recent phone calls, I wonder when was the last time I visited her or had contact with my parents? 2, maybe 3 years ago? My life in New York is busy, and I distance myself from my family out of self-preservation. In recovery, you're advised to avoid the people and situations that caused your trauma and remove yourself from toxic relationships in order to heal. I mean, I'm still angry. I haven't forgiven my parents for being alcoholics and passing me their disease. I promised myself I would never go back to South Carolina. My queasy stomach is a sign. Oh, this trip is a test. Am I strong enough to hold my own and not let the family dysfunction suck me under like a riptide? 10.5 tedious hours later, I reach the hospital. I peer into my mother's private room, which the military is paying for. A window at the far end of the long rectangular expanse looks out over the hospital parking lot and trees. Mom's bed is near the door. My mother's always been underweight. Her doctor once put her on a diet to gain weight. Lying in the hospital bed with her eyes closed, she appears frail, helpless. Snazzy digs, Mom. My mother opened her eyes and they lit up when she recognized me. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. I'm so glad you came. Me too. Mom's regular doctor, Dr. Payne. Yes, that is his real name. Dr. Payne bounds into the room. His smile flashes white teeth that light up the place like his high beams are on. In his upbeat, congenial, good old boy Southern accent, he reassures us, no need to worry now. They're going to operate on Julia. She'll be fine. They're going to fix her right up. After Dr. Payne leaves, a team of 3 doctors assigned to Mom's case enters the room. The head doctor is a surgeon from New York. Oh, I relax, assuming that being from New York means he's competent. He introduces himself as Dr. Bernstein. Jewish, even better. In stark contrast to Dr. Payne, Dr. Bernstein is short and dark and isn't smiling. He's earnest, concerned. Your mother's tumor is the size of a grapefruit. Are you going to operate? The tumor's inoperable. I see. Mom chews the cuticle of her right index finger. What does that mean exactly? I'm going to try radiation. Uh-huh. Mom remains silent. The doctors excuse themselves to move on to their next patient. Something clicks in my brain. Without a doubt in my mind, I know what I need to do. Be right back, Mom. Dr. Bernstein is conversing with a nurse right outside Mom's room. Excuse me? I interrupt. Would you mind if I stayed in the room with my mother? The doctor nods his approval. Oh, excellent idea, the nurse agrees. Often, when a patient is terminal, families abandon them. Did she say terminal? Mom's terminal? People do that? Oh, yes, ma'am. They most certainly do. She smiles her Southern hospitality smile. I'll order a second bed moved in. 2 orderlies roll another hospital bed into Mom's room. Mom leans over to me and whispers, J.O., don't tell the doctors and nurses you're staying here. This is our little secret. Yes, ma'am. My mother's personality changed after her cancer diagnosis. Mom, you're different somehow. Oh, Gio, I've always been a little off. My mother had a mini stroke when she was informed she had cancer. Cancer was an automatic death sentence back in her day, and the stroke somehow rewired her brain so she's kinder and gentler. I like this new mom. I'm on a mission. I make calls to clear my schedule. Henry is busy studying for his law finals. He won't miss me. Dr. Rubin and I will continue our therapy sessions from the payphone in the hall. Color direction is between seasons, so I'm not needed at the office. This hospital room is my home for the foreseeable future. I lived in Columbia for 8 years and graduated from the University of South Carolina, so I know my way around. Mom allows me to use her brand new, fully loaded Pontiac Grand Prix, which I'm super nervous about because, except for a few weeks in California, I haven't driven since I moved to New York 10 years ago. When Mom is taken upstairs for her radiation treatment, I drive to 5 Points near the university. I attended USC 15 years ago. Back then, 5 Points overflowed with head shops, thrift stores, hippie hangouts, coffee houses. Today, 5 Points has a yuppie vibe. We've got a music venue, fancy restaurants, fitness studio, pinball lounge, cycle center, hair and makeup salons. Walking around, I discover a health food store. When I enter, sandalwood wafts through the air. The store is open and airy with all natural light wood, and copious bins reveal a substantial selection of organic whole foods. I pass the essential oils and scented candles before finding bookshelves filled with macrobiotic cookbooks, natural healing, and all things alternative. Ever a student, I select several books to purchase, including The Cancer Prevention Diet, and The Macrobiotic Way, both by Michio Kushi. I also pick up a copy of On Death and Dying by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. I've never read the book, I've just heard about it. A small paperback catches my eye, Recalled by Life. A doctor's remarkable recovery from cancer and the diet he's convinced was responsible. The diet was macrobiotics. People swear this diet cures cancer. I did macrobiotics a few times. Whenever I follow this way of eating, I am bored out of my mind, but lose weight and have more energy. All good things for an actress. At the front register, as I'm checking out, I notice an announcement about a macrobiotic counselor. I tear off one of the tabs, stash the phone number in my wallet for safekeeping. Back at the hospital, I place my books on the nightstand, except for On Death and Dying, which I keep in my purse, so Mom won't stumble across it. Like Sherlock Holmes, I study these books, searching for clues about my mother's condition. One of the nurses informs me, "Your mother's condition is stage 4 squamous cell carcinoma." Wait, what is happening? Is this the first time your mother's been in the hospital? Yes, ma'am. Extremely unusual. Well, her doctor misdiagnosed her shoulder pain as arthritis. The nurse shakes her head in disbelief. I try deciphering my mother's illness, but I might as well be breaking the Enigma code. I read the information on her chart, or a doctor or nurse will drop a clue like stage 4, terminal. I'm at a loss. So I scheduled an appointment with the macrobiotic counselor. Mom can't attend, so the counselor suggested I take a Polaroid of her and bring this to our consultation. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. And if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and leave your comments below if you have, I don't know. Everybody's experienced a situation that just completely threw you off your game. I'd love to hear about your experiences as well. And I want to give a special thanks to everyone who bought me a coffee, or super thanks. Mind 188, Dorothy McLeod 6227, and Carter 1663. So thanks again for being here. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next week. Stay safe and have a great week.